In this video, we will look at what companies are protected from the inflation, what companies will do relatively well in the inflationary environment. I got this idea from Terry Smith's letter to shareholders of the year 2021, and in this video we will look at the example of a company that is well protected from the inflation. So let's get started. First of all, if you are not subscribed to the channel, you can do this by pressing the subscribe button under the video. It is absolutely free and you will not miss a single new video. Okay, Terry Smith is a super investor that I follow. He's a Warren Buffett style investor. He has a great track record. His famous motto is find great companies, don't overpay and do nothing. So his portfolio is centered around 20 core positions, and it is very interesting to see how he selects his stocks. Also, he's a famous author of the book Investing for Growth, which combines his letter to shareholders from the last 10 years. And in the last letter to shareholders, 2021, he brought topic of high inflation. Right now, the inflation is more than 7%. And that is on the conservative side, because according to many sources, the inflation is much higher. So he mentioned two companies, one that is well protected from the inflation and the other that is not. And in this video, we will look at this example. Terry Smith writes the importance of gross margins of the company. And the first example is L'Oreal. In this table, we can see that the sales are 100%, cost of goods sold are 27% of the sales. If we subtract cost of goods sold, we get the gross profit. So 73% is the gross margin. If we subtract sales, general and administrative expenses, we get the operating profit of 18%. So this is the short version of the income statement without added inflation. Now let's look at the same company but with the inflation of 5%. Again, the revenue is 100%, but the cost of goods sold are 5% higher because of the inflation. As a result, we get the lower gross profit of 72% instead of 73%. We subtract sales, general and administrative expenses again, and now we get the operating profit of 17%, which is 7% lower. So the increase of inflation of 5% means the decline in operating profit of 7% for L'Oreal. Terry Smith actually owns L'Oreal, so this is the example of the company that will do very well in the inflation environment. The decline is relatively low, only 7%. Okay, now let's look at another company, Campbell's. Again, the sales are 100%, but now the cost of goods sold are higher, 65%. As a result, the gross profit will be lower, 35%. For L'Oreal, it was 73%. Again, if we subtract sales, general and administrative expenses, we get the operating profit of 15%. That is before the added inflation. Now, if we add 5% inflation, the cost of goods sold will be 68% instead of 65%. As a result, the gross profit will be 32% instead of 35%. After subtracting sales, general and administrative expenses, we get the operating profit of 12%. This implies the decline of 22% of operating profit. So in this case, because of the increase in the inflation of 5%, we get the decrease in operating profit of 22% instead of L'Oreal of only 7%. So this company is very vulnerable to higher inflation. Its operating profit will decline much more than L'Oreal's. So L'Oreal will do much better in a high inflation environment than Campbell's because of the higher gross margins. Also, when you follow a super investor, it is extremely important to know his investment style. For example, I know that Terry Smith is a long-only investor. As far as I know, he doesn't have short position, and he's a very long-term investor. On 13F filings, there is no cash positions and short positions, so that is why it's extremely important to know the investment style. Also, Terry Smith added a significant position in Google and Amazon in the recent quarters. I have made a separate video on Google. Here's the video. If you are not subscribed to the channel, you can do this by pressing this button. It is absolutely free and you will not miss a single new video. Thank you very much for watching to the end and see you in the next video.